because it's not been recorded.
Please go to security.
Okay.
And there is a click on unmute yourself, themselves. Just remove the click. Remove the tick test.
Sure. I have done it.
Okay. No, Bhante, now even it is. मैं आप सबसे भी रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहती हूँ जो भी इंडिया के लोग जुड़े हैं प्लीज अपने आप को म्यूट कीजिए। एक है सदाशिव शिंदे जी, आप शायद माइक पे कहीं पर है, आपका माइक ऑन है, आपका बहुत आवाज आ रहा है। कुसु राजेश जी, हरिषिकेश जी, अविनाश जी, सभी प्लीज अपने अपने माइक को म्यूट कर दीजिए। राजेश तायाड़े नासिक से जुड़े हैं, जो सुनील प्लीज अपने अपने सुनील बोर्डे पनवेल प्लीज अपने अपने माइक को आप ऑफ कर दीजिए ताकि आपकी आवाज डिस्टर्ब ना करे। सुनील।
Okay, I have done. Oh, I think it's okay, no?
Recording in progress.
I think it's okay now. Now let's move into our main source, that's Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha. Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha was written by Venerable Anuruddha Acharya in the 11th century in Sri Lanka, who is also Sri Lankan monk. Just we pay attention for the first stanza. I don't want to go for the Pali in detail because this is not a Pali class, but for the beginning, I want to highlight the first stanza given by Venerable Anuruddha Acharya. Samma sambuddhamatulang sasaddhamma ganuttamang abhivadiya bhasissang Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha. The simple meaning is, having paid homage to the fully enlightened Buddha and the Dhamma and the utmost community of Sangha, I will tell the Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha. I tell again, having paid homage to the fully enlightened Buddha, Dhamma, and the utmost community of Sangha, I will tell the Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha. This is the first stanza given by Venerable Anuruddha Acharya. Usually, when monks compile a book, or especially in Pali, first they pay respect, a homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. That's the custom of writing book by the monks almost. Then we move into the 9 chapters of the Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha. You can see here, I have changed the order. There are 9 chapters. Chapter 1, chapter of consciousness, in Pali, Chitta Parichhedo. Chapter 2, chapter of mental factors, Cetasika Parichhedo. Chapter 3, chapter of miscellaneous, Pakinnaka Parichhedo. Chapter 4, I put in the number 4, but it's chapter 6. I have changed the order. Chapter 6, chapter of materiality, in Pali, Rupa Parichhedo. This is for the first step. For the second step, we will learn 3 chapters. Chapter 4, chapter of cognitive process, Viti Parichedo. Chapter 7, chapter of classifications, Samuchya Parichedo. Chapter 5, chapter of process treat, Viti Mutta Parichedo. This is for second step. For the third step, we will learn chapter of conditionality, chapter 8, and chapter of meditation subjects, chapter 9, Paccaya Paricheda and Kammatthana Paricheda. Just to make a glance about these chapters. So chapter 1, chapter of consciousness, explains the teaching of the mind or consciousness. I also use the word chitta. In this class, I almost use chitta or mind to indicate the consciousness. In the first chapter, we will learn about the classification of the mind. There are altogether 89 or 121. Chapter 2, for the mental factors. That's for the Cetasika mental factors. Those mental factors are, there are some mental factors that arise in every chitta. Some mental factors arise in only unwholesome. Some mental factors arise in wholesome. Then, chapter of miscellaneous also classifies the ultimate realities into 6 classes. In Pali we call Vedana, Hetu, Kiccha, Dwara, Arambana, Vattu. Vedana means feelings. Hetu means root. Kiccha means function. Dwara means door. Arambana means object. Vattu means basis. In this chapter, we will learn how to classify ultimate realities according with the roots, functions, doors, objects, and bases. Then, in the chapter 6, chapter of materiality, we will learn about 28 matters. We call rupas in Pali. In the 4th chapter, in the second step, we will learn about cognitive process. How our mind arises one after another. Mainly based on 6 doors. Eye door cognitive process, ear door cognitive process, nose door cognitive process, tongue door cognitive process, body door cognitive process, and mind door cognitive process. In the chapter 7, we will learn how to classify those ultimate realities according with the various types of classes. For example, according with the unwholesome class, according to the mixed class, and how to classify these ultimate realities based on enlightenment factors. Then how to classify those ultimate realities into aggregates, bases, elements, and the truths. Chapter 5 we call Viti Mutta Parichedo, chapter of process treat. In this chapter, we will learn about the planes. We will learn about the karma. We will learn about the karma. We will learn about the death and the rebirth also in this chapter. In the third step, we pay attention for the conditionality and the meditation subjects. In the chapter 8, we will learn conditioned relationship according to the Paticcasamuppada and the Patthana method. In the chapter 9, you will learn meditation subjects, serenity meditation and insight meditation, Samatha Bhavana and Vidarshana Bhavana. Just we had an idea about the 9 chapters of the Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha. Now let's pay attention to understand 2 types of truth. How to differentiate those 2 types of truths. In Pali we call Paññatti and Paramatha. We can translate them Paññatti as concepts, Paramatha as ultimate reality. Before learning Abhidhamma, before learning ultimate reality, we should know the concepts and the ultimate reality. What is the difference between concepts and ultimate reality? Here I have given a picture. I think you have seen. Usually, those who have visited Sri Lanka to visit the Perahara, we call Perahara in Kandy, you can see the firings. It's very it's evident for our Sri Lankans, those who have visited Sri Lanka and participated in this Perahara. I think you have seen this very significant example given by Abhidhamma scholars, especially by Chandravimala Thera as well as Sayadaw U Silananda. When you see this firing, you can see as the entire ring. You can see the fire continuously. You can't see the holes between them. When those persons, sorry, constructions are going on outside. They are a little bit noisy. When you see the person who turned this firing, you can see entire flames. You cannot find the balls, fire balls. You see just the flame of the ring, the firing. But when he stops, you can see there are fireballs attached to the fire ring. Why we can't see those fireballs separately when he turns this fire ring? Because of the speed. Similarly, our mind and matter arise and pass away again and again, that cannot identify by our naked eye. Therefore, we give the names, but those names are just names given by the people, given by some community or country or some ethnic groups. Then, shall we move into another example? How to differentiate the concept and the ultimate reality with another example. This nice example was given by Chandamela Mahathera. Here you can see table. Everyone call it as table in English. In Pali, in Sanskrit, in Sinhala, in Hindi, or in your language, you have your name, various types of names. Just to give the name to this appearance, we give name as table to this appearance and this assemble. What are the parts of this table? There are 4 legs and also wooden planks. When a carpenter assembles these wooden planks and legs into certain appearance, we call it as table. Suppose carpenter prepare those wooden planks and the legs into another appearance, we call it as chair. It changes according to changing of when we change its appearance, it also changes its name. Therefore, there is a teaching that when we divide into parts, the first name, if the first name disappears, consider it as paññatti. When we divide into parts again and again, ultimately we can find the element that cannot be divided again into parts. Those final elements, ultimate elements, are called as paramattha. Let's explain again. Just we call here this picture as table. When we classify them into 4 legs and wooden planks. Then you cut. When you remove, when you disassemble those 4 legs and wooden planks, those are just wooden parts. Then you cut these legs and the wooden planks into particles. Also, you will find the wooden particles that can be used for cooking. When you pound those wooden particles into powder, you will get wooden powder. According to the modern science, you can divide them into atoms. According to Buddhist teaching, you can also divide them again into the ultimate elements, Those are explained in the Abhidhamma Piṭaka and also Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha. In this course, we are going to learn these ultimate elements step by step. Some of the examples was given by Theravāda. He has given the example of mirage and the rock and river. When you see a mirage, the desert or far on the way, but it's not the real truth. Sometimes animals think that there is water, but when they arrive there, they cannot find. Similarly, we give the names as father, mother, cat, dog, tree, like this. There are many names. But when we classify those animate and inanimate things into elements, the previous name disappears. And ultimately, we can find the elements only. Regarding the rope, when we see the rope, it's also consists with fibers. Then we cut into parts, also small particles. Then when we pound, we can get only powder. When we divide into parts, its first name disappears and it takes another name. But think about the hardness of the rope. Think about the cohesion of the rope, heat of the rope. They still exist as long as you divide them into parts. You can find the hardness in the rope, also in the fibers, also in the powder. Another example is example of river. When you say, I have taken a bath in that river for several times, but you can take a bath only once because water is flowing one place to another place. Similarly, our mind and matter arise again and again as generations. We can't see this arising and passing away of this process by our naked eye. Therefore, ordinary people think that people exist for a long time, live for a long time. But actually, mind and matter are arise and pass away moment by moment. This is the qualities of the ultimate realities. I have already mentioned that. When we divide concept into parts, it gives away its original name and takes another name. But when we divide ultimate realities, we cannot divide ultimate reality. So that's the final element that we get. Theravāda mentioned that ultimate realities are real and true. He also mentioned they are real and really exist. Think about the table. Does it really exist? We have given name to that table, but when we separate them into parts, the original name disappears. It gives up its original name and it takes another name. But think about the hardness of the wood. You can find hardness, the table, also wooden planks or wooden parts, wooden particles, also powder. The hardness does not give up its nature, its characteristics, although you divide the table into parts. Chandravimala Mahathera mentioned that ultimate realities can be interpreted as force or velocity. They are just actions. There is no person or being. You can find only the energy. You can find only the forces, just only actions. What are the 4 types of ultimate realities? You have already know in Pali, Chitta, Cetasika, Rupa, and Nibbana. Chitta means consciousness or mind. In the first chapter, we will learn 89 of Chittas in short method, 121 in long method. Cetasika, mental factors, Rupa, 28 matters, Nibbana, the ultimate bliss. Those are the 4 types of ultimate realities. What is the Chitta? Here I don't want to go for the Pali interpretations. According to the Pali interpretations, just I have given simple meaning. Chitta means just knowing the object or just cognizing the object. According to Sayadaw Usilananda, they are just actions. There is no person who sees, no person who listens. Just actions arise and pass away. They are mere activities, they are mere actions. When you see something, when you hear something, when you smell, when you taste, when you feel the tangible objects, when you think, you just knowing the object, cognizing the object. This knowing nature or the cognizing the nature is called as Chitta. It's just action, not a person, not a being. That's what we know, what we should know by learning this Abhidhamma. This is not for only learning scriptural things. That's for our spiritual life. Then shall we move into the 4 types of consciousness. In Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha as well as in Dhammasangani, our mind classifies into 4 classes. First, I will tell in Pali. Later on, we will be familiar with Pali terms. There are not so many Pali terms. Later on, you will familiar with them. I will also explain in also the translations. sense sphere consciousness, fine material sphere consciousness, immaterial sphere consciousness, and supramundane consciousness. In Pali, Kamavachara. We can divide this Pali term into two parts, Kama and Avachara. Kama means here sense sphere, Kama world, Kama plane. That means 4 types of woeful abodes, human realm, and 6 divine realms. Those 11 realms are called Kama Bhumi, sense sphere. Avachara means wonder or associates. Kama Avachara means the chittas that almost arise in the Kama Avachara realm, in the sense sphere. I will tell again, the chittas that almost arise. Please pay attention for this word, almost. Almost arise in the sense sphere or Kamavachara realm. Those chittas arise in all other realms, but these chittas almost arise in this realm, Kamavachara realm. These 11 types of realms. Therefore, we call these chittas as Kamavachara chitta. There are altogether 54 Kamavachara chittas. Second group, Rupavachara. Rupa means matter or materiality, form. Similarly, Rupavachara chitta means the consciousness that almost arises in the fine material sphere or Rupavachara realm. Those Rupavachara chittas also arise in other realms, but these Rupavachara chittas frequently almost arise in this realm. Therefore, we call these chittas as Rupavachara chittas. Group 3, Arupavachara, immaterial sphere. The chittas that arise in immaterial sphere or Arupavachara realm are called immaterial sphere consciousness, or in Pali, Arupavachara chitta. Those Arupavachara chittas also arise in other realms. But those Arupavachara chittas almost and frequently arise in this realm. Therefore, we call them as Arupavachara chitta. Then Lokuttara chitta. Actually, we cannot find the realm or the plane for supramundane. Just for learning, we call it as Bhumi. Lokuttara chittas we call supramundane consciousness. In short method, there are 80 Lokuttara chittas. In long method, there are 40 Lokuttara chittas. I will summarize again. There are 54 sense sphere consciousness called as Kamavachara chittas. There are 15 fine material sphere consciousness called as Rupavachara chittas. There are 12 immaterial sphere consciousness called as Arupavachara Chittas. There are 8 or 40 supramundane consciousness called as Lokuttara Chittas. There is another interpretation given. Kamavachara means the Chittas. Those are the object of the sensual desire. Rupavachara means the Chittas, those are objects for the Rupavachara Tanha, the craving for the materiality, fine material sphere and fine material consciousness. And the Arupavachara means, Arupavachara Chittas means the Chittas objects for the craving for Arupa. So we cannot find that the craving in Lokuttara, therefore we cannot find that interpretation for the Lokuttara Chittas. This is the main classification given in Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha as well as in Dhamma Sangani, Abhidhamma Piṭaka, with regards to the consciousness. Our next ultimate reality is Cetasika, mental factors. There are 4 common characteristics explained in the Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha. What are these 4 characteristics? Mental factors arise together with the Chitta at the same moment, at the same time. The mental factors arise together with the Chittas at the same moment, at the same time. Second characteristic, they perish or disappear, they pass away with the Chitta. So, mind and mental factors arise together and disappear together. Mental factors arise and disappear together with the Chitta. Third characteristic, they must have the same object as Chitta. For example, when the mind takes the object of visible object, Cetasikas take the same object. When mind takes the sound as object, mental factors take the same object. Mental factors based on the same base with the Chitta. That's only for sense sphere realm and material realm, because there are no matters in immaterial realm. Cetasikas based on the same base with the Chitta. Suppose when I consciousness arises based on I base, connected Cetasikas, associated Cetasikas arise based on I consciousness. When Lobha Chitta, the craving rooted consciousness, arise based on heart base, associated Cetasikas also arise with the Chitta based on the heart base. Those are the main characteristics of the mental factors. Our third ultimate reality is Rupa. According to the Theravāda tradition, there are 28 Rupas. Rupa means, the interpretation was given, I don't want to tell the Pali. Rupa is that which changes when coming into contact with adverse conditions such as cold, heat, etc. Suppose when you are in an air-conditioned room and when you go outside, you will feel the heat. Your matters change according to the climate. Suppose when you get sick, you feel the weakness of your body. Also, after that, when you take medicine and suitable foods, you can change the matters of your body from sickness matters to healthy matters. When you get angry and go to in front of the mirror, you can see your face. The appearance has changed. Therefore, these matters change according to accordance with our mind. The interpretation of the rupa is that we change when coming into contact with adverse conditions such as cold, heat, etc. What is Nibbana? That's the ultimate bliss, the extinction of the craving, hatred, and delusion. It's the most difficult ultimate reality that should be described with our mundane words. This is supramundane reality, but we have to explain with the mundane words. Therefore, it's the most difficult ultimate reality to explain. Nice example was given by the Siddhatthālankāra. Siddhatha mentioned that there are two friends, tortoise and fish. One day, tortoise went to land and he has seen many things on land, mountains, trees, animals. Then he came to his lake again, came back to his lake again, and tortoise told to his friend, fish, "Oh, I have seen various things on the land. There are trees, mountains, animals. There are many things on the land. But fish cannot get an idea about the land because it has never seen that object." Similarly, Siddhatthālankāra mentioned that it's very, very difficult to explain the Nibbana, which is the supramundane ultimate reality, unconditioned ultimate reality. It's difficult to explain with our mundane words. Today, I want to give just introduction for the Abhidhamma and to make a glance in Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha. I will brief it again. First, we will learn the meaning of Abhidhamma. Then, what are the benefits of learning Abhidhamma? What is Abhidhamma Piṭaka? What are the 7 books of the Abhidhamma Piṭaka? What is Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha? Who is the writer? What are the 9 chapters of the Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha? Before learning ultimate realities, we have to differentiate the concept and ultimate realities. in Pali, Panyati and Paramattha. I think you can remember the example of firing in the table. There are 4 types of ultimate realities: mind, mental factors, materiality, and Nibbana. Among these ultimate realities, the first one is mind. Mind is classified into 4 sections according with the planes: sense sphere plane, sense sphere, fine material, immaterial, and supramundane. There are 54 Kamavachara Chittas, 15 Rupavachara Chittas, 12 Arupavachara Chittas, and 8 Lokuttara Chittas in long method, 40 Lokuttara Chittas. The second ultimate reality is Cetasika, mental factors. There are 52 mental factors. Third ultimate reality is Rupa. There are 28 matters, 28 Rupas. The last one is supreme bliss of Nibbana, the ultimate reality, Nibbana. Today, just we got to understand about the Abhidhamma Piṭaka, Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha, 4 ultimate realities, and the classification of the mind. Next time, next class, we will learn how to classify consciousness in the Kamavachara realm, one by one, with the examples. Now it's time for asking questions. I will unmute themselves. Okay. Here we don't have electricity. I don't know whether connection is good or not.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Arvind Wagmare from Maharashtra, Panvel.
Please raise your question.
Namo Buddhaya. My question is, can you detail what is origin of Abhidhamma?
Sorry?
The base or origin for Abhidhamma?
Actually, according to the Theravāda tradition, Abhidhamma was preached by the Buddha in the divine realm. For 3 months continuously. Is how to, yes, structure. Abhidhamma was taught by the Buddha in the divine realm for 3 months continuously. That's according to the Theravāda tradition. Buddha came to human world daily and taught Abhidhamma to his foremost disciple, Venerable Sariputta. Then Venerable Sariputta taught Abhidhamma to his 500 disciples. After that, monks memorize this Abhidhamma Piṭaka generation to generation. In the third council, Kathavattu was added by the Moggaliputta Mahathera. In the fourth council in Sri Lanka, it was written. This is the origin of Abhidhamma according to the Theravāda tradition.
Thank you. This relates only of human right, human mind.
You know, even though human or divine or Brahma, those chittas are same. When
Okay.
Loba Chitta arises, also that arises for the devas at the same as the same chitta. Not got it?
Thank you. I am satisfied. Thank you.
Venerable Bhikkhu, Namo Buddhaya, can you please share the very first page? Thank you.
I can give chance for a
Namo
few more questions. Namo Buddhaya.
What I have understood is there is a kind of consciousness which is free from these three which were told now, just now, lobha, moha, dosa. In that pure state of mind, one can understand this state of consciousness which is very settled, very settled. And in that state, in the higher state, that is not higher, but for Buddha, Lord Buddha, it was very pure state. In that state only one can, Divya Chakku, one can understand, one can see the these elements, these what is taught in Abhidhamma.
Yes,
That is
yes,
not
yes.
that is not for the bare eyes, bare ears, what we have now, sensual organs. That is for beyond that pure, that is pure state of consciousness. Only one can see that the real state of elements.
Yes, yes, you are correct. According to the teachings.
Thank you, Banteji.
Excuse me, Pante.
Excuse me. Okay.
Yes, I'm from Cambodia.
Pure.
My name is Yen Yen. I am a monk. I want to ask you one question about how do we learn the Abhidhamma to clearly or clear verse? Thank you.
So what we have followed, I will tell what we have followed. In the beginning, we learned Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha, not the Pali book. Just we will learn the books written by the Abhidhamma scholars based on Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha. As I quoted the Abhidhamma scholar, Sri Lankan Abhidhamma scholar, Chandamala Mahathera. Then also, first we try to master them. We should not be panic. We should not be hurry to learn very quickly without digesting the previous lessons. Therefore, main thing is first we have to digest the fundamentals of the Abhidhamma. It takes time. After you learning Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha, by the recommended book written by the Abhidhamma scholars, then you have to learn the Abhidhamma Piṭaka, we called the topics. There are Tikamatika and Tukamatika. When you learn those Abhidhamma Matikas, you can easily learn Tathavattu Patthana. For the Puggala Panyati, Matika is not needed. For Vibhanga, you should learn Matika and also Patthana, you should learn Matika. Regarding Kathavattu, actually Kathavattu is just the arguments of the Theravāda tradition and other schools. Matika is not essential for all the Abhidhamma books. But when you want to learn Abhidhamma Piṭaka, you should learn Matikas as well. Therefore, first you have to learn the basic things. When you learn Abhidhammattha Saṅgaha, that's enough. That's a door to open Abhidhamma Piṭaka. I think that's enough.
Venerable Bhikkhu, Namo Buddhaya, can you please share the very first page? Thank you.
You mean very first stage mean the
first page that you showed us? First page. Yeah.
Okay. First step, actually, there are 4 chapters I want to teach. Chapter of the Chitta, chapter of the mind, chapter of the Cetasika, mental factors. Then I will classify the 3rd chapter according to the 6 classes: feelings, fruits, functions, doors, objects, and bases. Then chapter 6 is Rupa Paricheda, chapter of the materiality. Therefore, step 1, you will learn about mind, mental factors, and materiality. Then how to classify those ultimate realities with regards to mentioned 6 types of classes. This is the first step we are going to teach in this course.
Bomatma pin Theruvan Saranai.
Theruvan Saranai.
Good morning, Bhante. I am from Sri Lanka. I am a monk. Actually, I like to take this opportunity to thank you for giving us this chance to learn Abhidhamma. Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you very much.
අවසරයි ස්වාමීනි අපිට මේ රෙකෝඩින් එක නැවත අහන්න පුළුවන්ද?
පුළුවන්. හැබැයි මම නම් රෙකෝඩින් එක පටන් ගත්තේ ටිකක් පරක්කු වෙලා රෙකෝඩ්. මම හිතන්නේ ලයිව් ස්ට්‍රීම් කරන අය ළඟ ඇති රෙකෝඩින් එක. ඒගොල්ලෝ අප්ලෝඩ් කරයි. මේ
බොහොමත්ම පිං හම්ද.
පෙරවන්
සිංහලෙන් කතා කරන්න උනා කමන්නේ.
කමක් නැහැ.
ඉංග්‍රීසි ටිකක් දුර්වලයි.
කමක් නැහැ.
බොහොම පිං ස්වාමීනි.
පෙරවන් සරණයි.
Thank you, Adarniya Bhante. Your language is very clear and very suitable to understand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I want to remind one more thing. I will give exercises after the lesson. You will receive the Word file or PDF. Then you can answer those questions. Not difficult one, just simple question. I want to remind that please keep exercise book or Word file or whatever. You can do your exercises digitally or manually. But I don't have time to check your answers. Actually, those questions are not difficult. Therefore, just you can check by yourself by listening to recording again. This is one more thing I wanted to remind.
Namo Buddhaya Bhante ji. Hello. Namo Buddhaya Bhante ji. I am Baisare from Mumbai. Sir, Bhante ji, today's PPT. today's PPT can be shared in this group?
Sorry, could you
Or
please repeat?
today's PPTs
Sure. I will share in the group.
share in this group actually, please.
Sure.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Bhante ji.
I can give you a chance for 2 or 3 questions because we have to prepare for our lunch here.
ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ මේ පන්තිය මේ සෙනසුරාදා උදේ කීයටද පටන් ගන්නෙ? 8ටද 7:00ට?
සෙනසුරාදා ලංකාවේ වෙලාවෙන් 7ට. මම බුරුමේ වැඩ ඉන්නේ. බුරුමේ වෙලාවෙන් 8ට. ලංකාවේ වෙලාවෙන් 7ට පටන් ගන්නවා.
හරි.
It seems to be there are no more questions. Let's stop. Please raise your hands if you have any questions. Okay.
Excuse me, Swaminathan. I couldn't because that advertisement it was said that 8 to 9:30. So I thought I was hurried to listen it, but now it is over.
It is. I think the recording will be uploaded.
Okay, thank you very much, Swaminathan.
Okay.
Namo Buddhaya. Is this the very first class?
Yes. Today our very first lesson. Therefore, don't worry about today lesson. Just only introduction.
Okay, Swamin Wasa. Boma pin. Theravāda Saranai.
Theravāda Saranai. Okay, if so, let's stop by reciting Buddha Sasanam Chirantitthatu 3 times. Buddha Sasanam Chirantitthatu, Buddha Sasanam Chirantitthatu, Buddha Sasanam Chirantitthatu, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.
Sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.
Sadhu.
Recording stopped.
Hello.